This week on Dateline Abuja, we've gone on another raid. And no houses were demolished in the making of this program. No, this time we went with NAFDAC. Yes, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control in Nigeria. And you won't believe what we found right here in the nation's capital. We'll show you in our focus on the FCT. What we found has raised questions, at least in my mind, as to why anyone would patronize such things. Why does the unregulated market appeal to so many? I know expensive doesn't always mean better, but cheap and unregulated should raise red flags for any sane person. No? Well, my guest breaks down this situation in our interview segment. And of course, we have an update on major stories from Nigeria's presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin by updating you on what major stories made front burner news in Nigeria's seat of power.
The federal government has announced an $800 million grant from the World Bank targeting 50 million vulnerable Nigerians or 10 million households as part of its post-subsidy palliatives removal. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, gave the announcement after the Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari today. The President also met the Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun. The Governor is in the State House to present his certificate of return to the President, who congratulated him for winning a second term in office. Governor Mai Malabuni of Yobe State also presented his certificate of return to the President. When he came calling in the State House, the President also congratulated him for securing a second term in office. The Senator-elect for Imo West Senatorial District, Mr. Osita Izunaso, believes the All Progressives Congress should zone the seat of the Senate presidency to the southeast for the sake of equity and fairness. He stated this while briefing State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, where he informed the President of his interest to run for the position. The former federal lawmaker believes he's the most senior lawmaker from the southeast and the south-south in the 10th Assembly. While the energy transition process is tough for gas-rich countries like Nigeria, the country must persist in its efforts to explore renewable fuels as its contribution to meeting the net zero emissions goal. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo stated this as part of his speech at the official signing ceremony for the definitive agreement of Carbon Vista, which was held at the lawn of the banquet hall of the State House in Abuja. $50 million is being invested in the Carbon Vista joint agreement, which is coming in the month, expected to expand Nigeria's domestic carbon market by rolling out sustainability-driven projects in the sector. The House of Representatives is condemning the calls for an interim government. This follows a motion of urgent national importance raised by Honorable Uyem Idem, drawing the attention of the House to a statement issued by the Department of State Services, warning of a plot to install an interim government following the outcome of the presidential elections. The House is urging the security agencies to be on alert. Specialized financial businesses, especially the Foreign Exchange Bureau, play key roles in the provision of financial services, but are most often vulnerable to abuse or at a risk of money laundering or terrorist financing. These are the words of an official of the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, Dr. Jeffrey Sama, who is optimistic that a collaboration with key players in the sector can help address the challenges. Dr. Isama was speaking at an event organized for Bureau de Change operators in Abuja.
Welcome back. If you're wondering what we found while on the raid with NAFDAC, I'll tell you. We found rooms filled with illicit drugs in the most unlikely places in Abuja, and NAFDAC arrested the shop hands. But what about the masterminds, the real owners of these businesses, the barons, the manufacturers, the smugglers, the government agents complicit in the smuggling? Well, we put these questions to the agents during the raids and tried to balance out those herbal practitioners on the side of the law and those who ultimately will have to go to jail. Please watch this. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, in Nigeria, is a federal agency under the Federal Ministry of Health, responsible for regulating and controlling the manufacture, importation, exportation, advertisement, distribution, sale, and use of food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, chemicals, and packaged water. Following a tip-off, the agency staff, members of the press and security agents are on their way to raid stores across the nation's capital, housing and selling unapproved products. After a 45-minute journey, the team arrives at Zuba, a community in the Gwagwalada local government area of the Federal Capital Territory. Apparently, located in the Zuba Motor Park, is this store masquerading as a restaurant, but really a warehouse for illegal drugs which claim to be cures for pain and serve as natural aphrodisiacs.
The
name of the product is called Hajia Aisha Snop, an AK-47 as well as bulletproof and Hajia Aisha Masanda. These are products that are purported to be manufactured in Ghana, but they are bringing it to Nigeria and selling it to the teeming populace of our country. Our laboratory analysis so far indicated that this product contains a chemical substance known as pyridine, which is a potential harmful substance to human body. That is the reason why we are here. As you can see, there are a lot of sacks of the product that we have found in this shop. Also, most of the products, herbal products that are in this shop are unregistered. So that is why we are here. We are going to carry out our investigation. One of the boys of the owner of the shop, we met here. We are going to arrest him, and then we will evacuate all these products and continue with our investigation.
So what are they saying the product is for?
What they are saying is that the product is used as snuff for, according to them, to make them high. And some of them are saying that the product is used as an aphrodisiac. But so far, we are yet to determine what the usage of the product is as per claim by them. It is only them that can say this is what the product is meant for.
The goods are carted away for further investigations, and the shop's sales boy is arrested. Next, the team arrives at the Utako Market, right in Abuja city center. And this time raid 2 shops owned by the same person, also selling the same brand of aphrodisiac among many others, an array of eye medicine and alleged painkillers. NAFDAC says these drugs carry very dangerous unchecked substances that have dire side effects for users and appeal to the public to stop patronizing these vendors.
The man we met here, the salesman that he called himself, he said the reason why they are selling this product is because of the market and that it's cheaper for people. So they are capitalizing on their property level. That is why they are selling all this kind of product that has not been approved by NAFDAC. But we are appealing to Nigerians, please don't patronize people that sells unregistered product. If they are in doubt, they should contact nearest NAFDAC office.
As with the case in Zuba, we tried to find out from the sales representative who actually owns this business and where is he located. We also tried to find out why the market for these illegal drugs thrive in places like Nigeria.
Okay,
it's your Oga's shop. How long have you been working for your Oga?
almost 10 years ago.
These products that NAFDAC have seized from your shop now, where did you get it from?
We used to get from some part of the country, like Onitsha, Lagos and Kano.
They are saying that the product doesn't have NAFDAC approval. Why were you selling product that doesn't have NAFDAC approval?
In those states, there are some products. When it has a NAFDAC approval, people say it is too cost to manage in order to buy. So we used to buy it from those people that are selling without NAFDAC number. So then when they miss some, then I'm the question now. I'm the answer.
After the goods are confiscated, the shops are sealed and investigations begin to apprehend all those culpable. For proper education, here are some NAFDAC laws all producers of goods, medical or not, need to be aware of. The NAFDAC Act Cap N1 LFN 2004. This is the law that created the agency and outlines its powers and functions on the products it regulates, as well as the powers and functions of the agency's council. The Counterfeit and Fake Drugs Unwholesome Processed Foods Miscellaneous Provision Act Cap C 34 LFN 2004. This law prohibits the sale of counterfeit, fake drugs and unwholesome processed foods. The law also prohibits the sale and distribution of counterfeit, adulterated, banned, substandard or expired drugs. The Food and Drug Act Cap F 32 LFN. This law is promulgated to prohibit the sale of certain foods, drugs, cosmetics, and devices. The law also regulates the manufacture, sale, and advertisement of food, drugs, cosmetics, and medical devices. Food, Drug, and Related Products Registration Act Cap F33. This law is promulgated to prohibit the manufacture, sale, distribution, and advertisement of unregistered food, drugs, drug products, cosmetics, medical devices, or water. The law also regulates the manufacture, importation, exportation, advertisement, sale, or distribution of processed food, drugs, medical devices, chemicals, and bottled water. When it comes to the final act, these sales boys and distributors are just a small part of a very big engine, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of high-profile arrests in the past few years. We tried to get some clarity from the agency.
I cannot say we are only arresting small fry. Sometimes we run into problem when the small fry did not give you information as to who is the supplier of the product, then you are stuck with investigation. But if there is cooperation from the small fry, as you call them, for us they are not small fry. Even if it is one product that we are able to recover from the suspect and we have been able to save the life of a Nigerian, for us it's a big catch. Just as you mentioned, coming from the border, you have rightly said, but you should know that the problem we have as a country, our border is so porous. And moreover, these products, they are not coming in legitimately. So we cannot say that they come in through the border. Maybe they come in through clandestine act, either in the night, through a porous border, or through bushes. Because they are not registered by us, we cannot say they are coming from the rightful border. We have designated port that has been designated for entry of drugs into the country. So certainly they are not from that designated ports, but they are coming from the land border, as you rightly said.
It is pertinent to note that not all herbal medicine practitioners are on the wrong side of the law. The Mariam Babangida Hall of the Women Development Center in Abuja is playing host to African traditional medicine practitioners from all across Nigeria. They are celebrating 20 years of practicing traditional medicine in the country. Drugs which they claim cure illnesses ranging from malaria to diabetes and ulcer are on display at this exhibition. And the practitioners tell us that the days when herbal medicine was handled primitively without NAFDAC approval are behind us.
Right now, innovation and science are being fused into herbal medicine. So most of the practitioners, including me, our products are well analyzed, researched and analyzed, and even most of the institutions, like my own is done in University of Benin.
There should be an equivalent of NAFDAC that is geared toward traditional medicine only. There should be equivalent of hospital management board that will regulate those practices only. Just like in India and in China, it does not in any way prevent people who want orthodox medicine to go there and then have them patronized.
Meanwhile, herbal mixtures have gradually become commonplace in Nigerian society, and many people prefer them to Western medicine.
Like moringa, bitter leaf, and the scent leaf. If I have symptoms like malaria or BP, something like that, I will go and boil it. I remember since 2019, I've never go to hospital to say I take all this shock where they give us.
For example, let's say pile. Like me now, I take bitter leaf and scent leaf, the osimum. So, and the combination works well on me.
Despite its acceptance, there are still many questions about its dosage and what side effects it may have on vital organs.
Like the herbs that they are using, what is the dosage? What is if any preparation that you make? What is the time frame? What is the date of production? What is the expiry date? All of this research needs to be done for us to get the best of those traditional, of those herbal medicine. It's not all about having put one or two leaves together and grind them or put it there. They'll be taking it with you have a start date. You don't know the date it will end, and you don't expect to be consuming all of that.
Traditional complementary and alternative medicine, or herbal mixtures, as many choose to call it, has come to stay in Nigeria for a plethora of reasons, ranging from traditional beliefs to religious beliefs, from cost implications to quicker efficacy of these medications. Therefore, safety in dispensing it must become paramount, and proper funding for research to ensure proper use should drive actions of government in the alternative medicine sector. My guest on the program is Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. She inaugurated Nigerian Herbal Medicine Product Committee as a means of fostering research involving herbal practitioners and academic researchers, while the intellectual property is protected. The ultimate goal, according to her, was to turn complementary alternative medicines into a research-driven, regulation-controlled, commercially viable commodity. She currently serves as the chair of the steering committee of the African Medicines Regulatory Harmonization and the WHO-based Global Pediatric Regulatory Network. So we're not talking to someone averse to herbal medicine. Our conversation went from regulation to litigation to collaborations to circumstances beyond our control. Please watch this. Good evening, Prof. Welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Good evening. It's good to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's talk about that for a bit. You know, when it comes to fake drugs in Nigeria, this is a problem that almost every family has been a victim of what fake drugs have done. I have people in my family who have hearing issues because back in the 70s, there was some fake Aspen or fake headache medication that they took and, you know, it's made their hearing bad. But let's talk a bit about your first tenure. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when it comes to fighting this fake drug business in Nigeria?
Wow. Many challenges, actually, when it came to fighting fake drugs during my first tenure. One of the big challenges is a system that was not there to really work effectively. We attained maturity level 3. WHO maturity level 3. It is again an auditing system. It's a global benchmarking ISO 9004. And we had 868 recommendations that we needed to meet as of 2018 January. 868 recommendations spread across 8 functions, 8 regulatory functions. Only 30% of regulatory agencies globally have maturity level 3 recognition. So, in terms of the next step, we are going to maturity level 4.
It was actually pretty disappointing, you know, to see that amount of fake products. The idea that somebody would even buy something like that to ingest for whatever reason, whether they said it was for eye treatment or as an aphrodisiac. You know, we tried to talk to a few of the people that got arrested. And one of them was saying, look, the reason why a lot of people buy these products from us is because getting NAFDAC registration on your product is very expensive. And so, you know, I have an ailment. I need to get this ailment fixed immediately. I can't be waiting. My friend and my uncle or my friend's uncle told us that when he used this drug, it worked. So waiting for NAFDAC registration, I might die before I get NAFDAC registration. Is there any truth to this? I know that it's a cumbersome process, but is it very expensive? Is it something that small-time manufacturers cannot afford?
That's a very good question again, or comment. There are several reasons for people coming to that type of conclusion. First of all, ignorance. Secondly, what we should also be doing better, meaning sensitizing the public, that we are improving on right now. That is part of my next 5-year agenda, to do more publicity, because we have about 50% illiteracy in Nigeria. Therefore, anybody can easily say, oh yeah, somebody said it works, without even checking it out, and then they use it. For drugs, we don't have small-scale manufacturer for drugs. We have medium-size manufacturer for drugs. But it's not costly. For MSMEs, we have about 45,000 naira actually 35,000 naira. For cosmetics, it's about 40-something thousand naira. That is not too costly. So in terms of cost, it is not too costly because we have to test them. The fact that they are micro doesn't mean we'll not go to the lab to test, just like you will do for medium size or bigger size.
You know, many people wrongly assume that, well, NAFDAC is against herbal medicine. And I keep trying to explain to them that you in particular, I know that when it was time for COVID, you were even asked to chair some committee that was supposed to look into herbal cures for COVID.
Yes,
I know that you are a believer in herbal medicine.
I have soft spot for herbal medicines. I have soft spot for therapeutic foods. I was raised up on herbal medicines. And of course, there might have been mistakes here and there, but a lot of herbal medicines work. Just like you said, the fact that it is herbal doesn't mean it should kill. Most of the herbal medicines are liquids, and liquids support bacterial growth, like the ones that the hawkers sell all over the place. It's almost like selling, death in a way, in bottles. We have all these incidences happening. Big cities, Lagos, Kano, Onitsha, Aba, those are big cities, but they are Ibadan. It's another example. So you have all these illegal sales or manufacturing a lot in big cities.
Like with the raid yesterday, at least we arrested 3 people. At least your team arrested 3 people that I saw. The question, the question I have has to go to the convictions. In the past 1 year, let's say, or even let's use your past tenure, the 5 years you were in office. In those 5 years, how many big shots were you able to arrest and convict? Because a lot of the time, what many people worry about is that we're catching sales boys. You're catching couriers. You're catching hawkers on the street. How many of those arrests and convictions have we seen, at least from NAFDAC, in the past 5 years?
The past 5 years, they are not less than 50. Not less than 50. I will give you an example. And I'm going to read this up a little bit. Ezianwo Ifeanyi was sentenced to 5 years in the Federal High Court for fake tramadol. Another, Clara Ona, was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. That's big. They may be salespeople, but we are breaking the backbone small by small, or little by little. Another one is Olayemi Latif, pleaded guilty and was sentenced with an option for fine. There are so many of fake traders or manufacturers that we have sentenced. However, I will also want to let people know that we could do better if there is strict sentences, stiffer sentences that will cause deterrent.
Unfortunately, Professor, this is where we have to wrap it up on this interview.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. You have 5 more years. We're going to be watching you for the next 5 years.
Thank you.
And good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. The smell from those stores housing those illegal drugs was so off-putting. It was shocking to think that people would willingly buy these things and ingest them for ailments. But I've learned that realities differ and Nigerians exist in a plethora of bubbles. What's crucial is injecting some sanity into every bubble. Please do not take drugs not approved by NAFDAC. They may cost little, but they have not been certified healthy for you. NAFDAC drugs may cost more, but they are healthy for you. And if they still harm you, at least you have an accountability channel. With these unregulated vendors, you are on your own when the side effects manifest, and they will. Don't cure erectile dysfunction and end up with prostate cancer. That's just unnecessary. Or in a bid to cure malaria, you end up with kidney failure. Please stay safe, and NAFDAC wants you to know that you can reach them at any time if you or someone you know has been sold unregistered drugs. And if you know of any warehouses like the ones we saw in our report, please say something. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Megwa. See you next time.